And we're starting off by putting the spotlight on the swing state of Georgia, which is considered to play a crucial role in the outcome of the U.S. presidential election. In fact, the battleground state has had both a blue phase and a red phase over the past few years. Biden had won the state by nearly 11,000 votes in 2020. The question remains, can Kamala Harris repeat that success? Or will Donald Trump flip the state in his favor? Our next report getting you more.
The battleground state of Georgia remains one of the top prizes in the presidential election. With 16 electoral votes, Georgia is in the top 10 among all states in the United States of America. In 2020, U.S. President Joe Biden became the first Democratic presidential contestant to win the state since Bill Clinton in 1992. Biden defeated Trump in Georgia by less than a quarter of percentage point, that is a margin of 11,000 votes. In a sense, Georgia has had both a blue phase and a red phase in the past. It is extremely pivotal for the race to the White House, as 8 of the past 12 Georgia winners have ultimately won the presidency. Both Trump and Harris have made several visits to Georgia, especially after Hurricane Helene caused massive destruction in the battleground state, claiming 200 lives. Harris also appeared alongside Obama for the first time since the start of her campaign in Georgia. Meanwhile, Trump has also held a slew of rallies in Georgia with his running mate J.D. Vance. He urged his supporters to just vote. Let's now see how Georgia has voted in the past. While Biden won the battleground state in 2020, in 2016, the mandate to the red camp, with Trump winning the polls with a wider margin of about 5 percentage points. In 2012 as well, the battleground state was won by the Republicans. Talking about the demographics of the Peach State, 49.6% of the population is non-Hispanic white. Nearly a third of the population, that is 33.2%, is black. 11.1% is Hispanic and 4.9% is Asian. Women voters are another pivotal voting bloc and comprises over 51% of Georgia's population. A slew of issues are on the ballot for the Georgians. 25% of Georgian adults said that preserving democracy was on top of their mind. Apart from that, 24% of surveyed residents chose immigration. Similar percentage of people cited inflation as their top concern. Meanwhile, 8% cited abortion as their top priority. Well, polling is excruciatingly close in Georgia. With Harris and Trump tied in a neck-and-neck battle in the battleground state of Georgia, experts say for Trump to win Georgia, he needs to keep the state's sizable Republican base together. Meanwhile, for Harris to win, she must appeal to black voters in large numbers. With all eyes on Georgia, the big question is, will Democrats continue to triumph in the battleground state, or will Donald Trump reinstate the status quo and win it back? Bureau Report, WION World This One.
And joining us on the broadcast this minute is a VOA correspondent, Steve Herman, from the battleground state of Georgia. Thanks very much for being here. 16 electoral votes, the importance of Georgia cannot be overemphasized. What are you picking up from on the ground at this point? What has your interaction with the voters been like in the run-up to the election as well?
Yes, what we're finding out here on the ground in Gwinnett County, Georgia, which is one of the most diverse counties ethnically in the southeastern United States, is quite a bit of enthusiasm. We're looking at record turnout for early voting and mail-in balloting, and also here on Election Day. Every balloting polling station we've been to, there's been a steady stream of people coming in, even during sort of the off hours, not the hours where they were going to work or on their lunch break. So a lot of enthusiasm. They seem to be indicating to us that the economy is the top issue. And that appears to be the case for both Republicans and Democrats, as well as independent voters.
Right, let's just talk about what's unfolded over the last few hours. The several non-credible bomb threats that briefly disrupted voting at 2 Georgia polling places, according to the Secretary of State, there originated from Russia. Let's just talk a little bit more about what you're picking up and what, according to you, has been the disruption like.
Yeah, Georgia and federal officials have made it clear that these non-credible threats are originating from Russia, squarely blaming the Russians for trying to disrupt the electoral process in the United States. These messages telling people it's too dangerous to go to the polls and that they should vote remotely, which is now not possible today. In Fulton County, Georgia, they are going to extend the time for voting past the 7 o'clock close for a bit to allow anybody who may have been sort of put off by these threats. So that's one of the more serious things that we've heard today here in the state of Georgia. But I can tell you, we have not run into anybody here in Gwinnett County that is all concerned about any threat to them going to the polls.
Let me also ask you this, given the mood on the ground, like you just outlined for us, and through your interaction, what really stood out for you in terms of the comparison that the voters are drawing between the two candidates?
Well, I think Gwinnett County is a microcosm of the entire United States. And one thing I think that Republicans and Democrats tend to agree on is if the other person gets elected, it's an existential threat to the United States. People are very polarized. It's very divisive, as you know, and that has really motivated people to come out. Of course, Donald Trump is trying to become the first first candidate since President Grover Cleveland in the late 19th century to serve 2 non-consecutive terms, and Kamala Harris trying to make history as well, being the first black woman and person of South Asian origin to become president of the United States. So that does factor into some of it for Democrats and some independent voters. And as you well know, Trump's support has been pretty steady and consistent. He's been warning about the threats from immigrants and calling Kamala Harris a communist, a Marxist, a lot of name calling. And we'll see whether any of that really moves the needle one way or another when the results start to come in a significant manner.
Right, Steve Herman, Chief National Correspondent, VOA. Thanks very much for joining us on the broadcast with those updates. Of course, we'll be coming back to you as and when there are further updates trickling in. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.